You're letting them slip through our fingers.
Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
Perhaps you'd like to pull the switch.
For this kid, you bet I would.
I feel sorry for you. What it must feel like to want to pull the switch. You've been acting like a self-appointed public avenger. You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You're a sadist.
Kill him, I'll kill him!
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Hi guys, and welcome back to Criminal Content. My name is Coby. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can stay up to date with all things criminal content over on Instagram too, which is criminal.content. And you can stay up to date with me personally if you want to at Coby Connell on Instagram. Today I'm going in, as always, pretty blind. It's called 12 Angry Men. It's 1957. I have seen the title pop up like on those lists of, you know, top 100 films ever made or top 200, you know, on IMDb and things like that. So I think it is a, you know, a well-loved and renowned film. So I'm excited to check it out, finally. So for the full watch along, head over to our Patreon. And with that, let's get into 12 Angry Men. I like this setup of just following and switching from character to character.
To continue,
Oh.
listen to a long and complex case, murder in the first degree.
It's a jury, 12 Angry... It's a jury. What?
It's now your duty to sit down and try and separate the facts from the fancy.
This judge is over it.
If there's a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, then you must bring me a verdict of not guilty.
Ow!
However you decide, your verdict must be unanimous.
He looks familiar. Who's that?
In the event that you find the accused guilty, the bench will not entertain a recommendation for mercy. You're faced with a grave responsibility. Thank you, gentlemen.
That's like his 800th case. He's like, eh.
The alternate jurors are excused. The jury will now retire.
So we don't get any of the case or anything. We just start at you must now deliberate and decide. That's it? We come in at the end? Oh, it's Henry Fonda. Ed Begley. Oh, Ed Begley Jr.'s dad. That would be. I bet this was a play. I feel like if this is all gonna be about these guys deciding the fate, you know, and we don't even get the hearing and the case, I feel like this is definitely a play because of how it can be set just in one space. Oh, Sidney Lumet.
Fish gun?
Oh, thanks.
That's Henry. Is that Henry Fonda?
Now, if there's anything you want, I'll be right outside the door.
I never knew they locked the door.
Sure they locked the door. What'd you think?
Seal it up.
Oh, I thought we might want to vote by ballot.
Great idea. Maybe we can get him elected senator.
Even it's an open and shut case like this one. I mean, did you ever hear so much talk about nothing?
Well, I guess they're entitled.
If you ask me, I'd slap those tough kids down before they start any trouble.
Oh. So it was that kid that was the defendant, just sitting there, so young.
What did you think of the case? Yeah, you can say that again. What about that business with the knife? I mean, asking grown-up people to believe that kind of jazz, huh?
Yeah, that's him. That's Henry Fonda.
Oh, come on, Mr. Foreman. Let's go here, huh? Well, the guy's still in the bathroom.
Okay, man, let's take our seats, huh?
So are we gonna learn about the case through their deliberation?
Where do we sit here?
By jury numbers, that's okay with you, gentlemen.
Sure. What's the difference?
I think it's reasonable to sit in order. Say, we'd like to get started. Gentlemen at the window. We'd like to get started.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kid kills his father, Bing, just like
Oh,
that.
this
Kid killed his dad.
a Yankee fan? No. Baltimore. It's like being hit in the head with a crowbar once a day.
Is this guy in the glasses here reading the paper Ed Begley?
You know, I'm not going to make any rules. We can, well, discuss it first and then vote on it.
This guy with the little cotton polo shirt and tie.
We vote the accused guilty. We've got to send him to the chair.
Oof, he's a kid.
Okay, anyone doesn't want to vote?
All right with me.
Just remember that this has to be 12-0 either way. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 guilty. All those voting not guilty? 1. Right.
Oh.
Oh, boy, there's always one.
Oh, what are we doing now?
Is he gonna turn 11 other men to not guilty over the course of this movie? Is he right?
I want to ask you something. Do you believe his story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't. When there were 11 votes for guilty, it's not easy to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Well, just because I voted fast? I honestly think the guy's guilty. Couldn't change my mind if you talked for 100 years.
I'm not trying to change your mind. It's just that we're talking about somebody's life here.
No, it's not even about necessarily changing.
Suppose we do it in 5 minutes, so what?
Let's take an hour. Ball game doesn't start till 8 o'clock.
Just to, like, respect to honor his life.
This kid's been kicked around all of his life. You know, born in a slum, mother dead since he was 9.
We don't owe him a thing. He got a fair trial, didn't he? What do you think that trial cost? I mean, they're born liars.
Only an ignorant man can believe that. Do you think you were born with a monopoly on the truth?
Come on, we have a job to do now. Let's do it.
Rice Pops. It's a product I work on at the agency. Breakfast with a built-in bounce.
The old man lived downstairs under the room where the killing took place. And he heard the kid yell out, "I'm gonna kill you."
He claimed he was at the movies during the time of the killing. Couldn't remember the names of the films he saw or who played in them.
Oh, so he is saying he wasn't there.
Listen, what about the woman across the street? If her testimony don't prove it, nothing does.
Yeah, what did she say?
She looks out the window, and right across the street, she sees the kid stick the knife into his father. She swore she saw him do it.
Through the windows of a passing L train.
Right. And they proved in court that at night you can look through the windows of an L train when the lights are out and see what's happening on the other side.
You don't believe the boy's story. How come you believe the woman's? She's one of them, too, isn't she?
You're a pretty smart fella, aren't you?
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen.
Come on, sit down.
She's so wise about it, I'm telling you.
Okay, now, come on.
The boy didn't do it.
Here's number 5.
Yeah, can I pass it?
What's his name? I know him.
7 o'clock that night? I mean, I could be wrong, but
It was 8 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock, that's right. They heard an argument.
What if he left then and never came back and went to the movies?
Well, look at his record. He threw a rock at a teacher. He stole a car. He's picked up twice for knife fighting. Oh, yeah, they say he's real handy with a knife. Oh, this is a very fine boy.
Doesn't look good for him.
You got any kids?
3.
I got one. 22 years old. When he was 9 years old, he ran away from a fight.
This guy has a Stallone mouth.
I saw it. I was so embarrassed, I almost threw up. I said, "I'm going to make a man out of you." When he was 16, we had a fight. I haven't seen him for 2 years.
Oof.
Look, your turn down there. Let's go.
I didn't expect a turn. I thought you were all going to try to convince me. Wasn't that the idea?
Check, that was the idea.
Well, you stop being a kid, will ya?
What do you mean, a kid?
Well, what do you think I mean? K-I-D, kid.
I mean, here, you take it. You know, you take on the responsibility. I'll keep my mouth shut, that's all.
No,
Go ahead,
nobody
it's
wants to change. You're doing a beautiful job. You stay in there and pitch, you know?
Maybe that guy's Ed
Well,
Begley.
if you want me to tell you how I feel about it, it's all right with me.
Boy, I don't care what you do.
Everybody sounded so positive. You know, I began to get a peculiar feeling about this trial. I mean, nothing is that positive.
Huh.
Maybe it's also possible for a lawyer to be just plain stupid, isn't it?
You sound like you met my brother-in-law once.
If I was on trial for my life, I'd want my lawyer to tear the prosecution witnesses to shreds, or at least try to. There was one alleged eyewitness to this killing.
The woman.
Actually, those 2 witnesses were the entire case for the prosecution. Supposing they're wrong.
What do you mean, supposing they're wrong?
And he was still at the movies.
People make mistakes. Could they be wrong?
Well, no, I don't think so.
You know so.
Oh, come on, nobody can know a thing like that.
Because there's no DNA, there's no anything like that back then. It's just eyewitness testimony. They used to say that that was the least reliable of any evidence.
What about the switch knife?
There's some people who haven't talked yet. Shouldn't we go in order?
They'll get a chance to talk. Just be quiet a second, will you?
All right, let's talk about it. Let's get it in here and look at it. I'd like to see it again, Mr. Foreman.
Say, could you bring us the knife?
Now, suppose we take these facts one at a time. 1, the boy admitted going out of the house at 8 o'clock on the night of the murder after being slapped several times by his father.
Yes.
No, he didn't say slapped. He said punched. There's a difference between a slap and a punch.
He went directly to a neighborhood junk shop where he bought one of those
Switch knives.
switchblade knives. The storekeeper who sold it to him said it was the only one of its kind he had ever had in stock.
Oh, but that's a witness to the shopkeeper that sold the knife that killed the man to the kid.
They identified the death weapon in court as that very same knife.
That's the biggest evidence so far.
Now, this is where the stories offered by the state and the boy begin to diverge slightly. He claims that he went to a movie at about 11:30, returning home at 3:10 to find his father dead and himself arrested. Now, what happened to the switch knife? He claims that it fell through a hole in his pocket on the way to the movie sometime between 11:30 and 3:10.
But he's saying he lost the knife and then the knife is the knife that killed his dad? That's...
Now, are you trying to tell me that this knife really fell through a hole in the boy's pocket? Someone picked it up off the street, went to the boy's house.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying it's possible the boy lost his knife and that somebody else stabbed his father with a similar knife. It's just possible.
Similar. There, that's what I think.
It's a very unusual knife. I've never seen one like it. Neither had the storekeeper who sold it to the boy. Aren't you asking us to accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
Yes.
Coincidence is possible.
And I say it's not possible.
Here's the same knife.
Where did that come from? I walked through the boy's neighborhood. I bought that in a little pawn shop just 2 blocks from the boy's house. It cost $6.
Oh.
Maybe there are 10 knives like that, so what?
Maybe there are.
But what does it mean?
Ah.
You mean you're asking us to believe that somebody else did the stabbing with exactly the same kind of knife? The odds are 1,000,000 to 1.
It's possible.
But not very probable.
I was going to say the knife had me because I was like, it's so ornate.
Oh, I just thought it was interesting.
There are still 11 of us here who think he's guilty.
Ha!
So what are you going to do? You know, we can be here all night.
It's only one night. A boy may die.
Oh, well, why don't we just set up house here, huh? Someone send for Potsy the policeman to get a pinochle duck, and we'll just sweat the whole thing out, right?
I want to call for another vote. I want you 11 men to
Close your eyes.
vote by secret written ballot.
Yeah.
There are 11 votes for guilty. I won't stand alone. We'll take in a guilty verdict to the judge right now. But if anyone votes not guilty, we stay here and talk it out.
The knife really had me, though. I was like, there's no way, because what, he lost it and then a killer found it and stabbed his dad with the same one. But the fact that you can buy them in that whole neighborhood, $6, they're everywhere. He didn't do it. It's a common knife. Maybe there's going to be 1, maybe 2. Let's say 2. Let's say 2 extra not guilties.
Guilty.
Or maybe 1, just for cinematic effect.
Guilty. Guilty.
Not guilty. It's gonna be last.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Brother, you really are something. Underprivileged kid just couldn't help becoming a murderer, and you change your vote.
He's not saying he couldn't help become a murderer. He's saying it wasn't him.
Calm down. It doesn't matter. He's very excitable. Sit down.
Excitable? You bet I'm excitable. We're trying to put a guilty man in the chair where he belongs. What made you change your vote?
He didn't change his vote.
I did.
I did.
Huh?
Would you like me to tell you why? This gentleman has been standing alone against us. Now, he doesn't say the boy is not guilty. He just isn't sure. The boy in trial is probably guilty, but I want to hear more. I'm talking here. You have no right to leave this room.
Can't hear you. He never will. Let's sit down.
Shall we continue?
I think we ought to wait for him.
The knife thing is wild.
You know, in advertising, I told you I work in an agency.
Yeah.
Pretty strange people working there. Well, they're not strange, really. I guess it's just the way it happened.
What if Henry Fonda is the killer and he killed him with that knife?
In an agency, when we reach a point like this, I'm telling about in an ad agency, when a point like this. Okay, here's an idea. Let's run it up the flagpole and see if anyone salutes it. I mean, it's idiotic, but it's funny. Huh?
This guy that I keep saying.
A little excited back there. I didn't mean to get nasty.
But this guy that I keep saying looks familiar. Is he from the original Odd Couple? Is he Oscar or Felix? Which one is it? But I feel like he's in the original Odd Couple. Oscar.
Are you a salesman?
An architect.
I got a different technique. Laughs, drinks, jokes, tricks, you know?
Boy, what a murderous day. You think we'll be much longer?
I don't know.
Weeks, no.
You think he's not guilty, huh?
I don't know.
It's possible.
That's all he says the whole time.
If you're wasting your time, you ought to wrap it up.
Supposing you were the one that was on trial.
Well, I'm not used to supposing. I'm just a working man. My boss does the supposing, but I'll try one.
Oh, try one.
Supposing you talk us all out of this and kid really did knife his father, huh?
I have no idea which way it's going to go. You know, if he's going to turn them, if they're going to turn him, if he's doing it just as an exercise to consider the possibility and know that he might ultimately vote guilty anyway.
He ran to the door and he saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house.
Maybe.
And it's not that easy to identify a voice, particularly a shouting voice.
Identified it in court. That's right. And don't forget the lady across the street. She looked right in the open window.
Through a train.
How long it would take, Nell?
Ah! We're playing noughts and crosses? Or tic-tac-toe?
This isn't a game.
The nerve.
All right, listen,
The absolute nerve.
How long it takes an elevator train going at medium speed to pass a given point?
I don't know, maybe 10, 12 seconds?
Yeah, it's Odd Couple guy.
It takes a 6-car L train 10 seconds to pass a given point. Has anyone here ever lived near the L tracks?
Fine, I was there for 3 days.
What was it like?
What do you mean?
Noisy?
Oh, brother.
When the window is open and the train goes by, the noise is almost unbearable. You can hardly hear yourself think.
10 seconds for 6 cars.
Let's take 2 pieces of testimony and try to put them together.
Oh!
He says he heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you," and a split second later heard a body hit the floor. 1 second later, right?
That's right.
Second. The woman across the street swore positively she looked
The
out of the
train
window
was going
and
at
saw
that
the killing
noise. The 10 seconds before that, the train.
with the L roaring past his nose.
There's
It's
no
not
way.
possible he could have heard it. Even if he heard something, he still couldn't have identified the voice.
Yeah.
Nobody can be that accurate.
Well, I think testimony that could put a boy into the electric chair should be that accurate.
Well, I don't know. Something I don't think he could have heard it.
Yeah!
Why should he lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe.
You keep coming in with these bright sayings.
What are you talking to him like that for? Guy talks like that to an old man really ought to get stepped on, you know? You say stuff like that to him again, I'm gonna lay you out.
Hey! Do it. They're turning.
Why do you think the old man might lie?
This is a quiet, insignificant old man who has been nothing all his life.
That's his moment.
Who's never had recognition or his name in the newspapers. Nobody knows him.
Until now.
Nobody seeks his advice after 75 years. That's a very sad thing to mean nothing. A man like this needs to be quoted, to be listened to.
Ooh.
He wouldn't really lie, but perhaps he made himself believe he heard those words and recognized the boy's face.
Fantastic story I've ever heard. How can you make up a thing like that? What do you know about it?
He did it too? Or he just relates?
The phrase was, "I'm gonna kill you." The kid yelled it at the top of his lungs. The way he said it, they mean it.
What do you mean the way he said it? You weren't there.
Do you really think the boy'd shout out a thing like that so the whole neighborhood could hear him? I don't think so. He's much too bright for that.
Bright? He's a common, ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
You don't even speak good English.
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
You what?
You heard me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
The vote is 9-3 favor of guilty.
This isn't the living end. Huh?
This guy will switch just so he can go home.
Look, the kid had a lawyer, didn't he? Well, how come he got so much to say?
Look, lawyers aren't infallible, you know.
Baltimore, please, huh?
He was court appointed.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
He's not very...
It's the kind of case that brings him nothing. No money, no glory, not even much chance of winning. That's not a very promising situation for a young lawyer.
Oh, look, will you look at the time? Huh? Come on.
The game starting, they were like, a game starts an hour.
It seems to me that this man has some very good points to make. And he was captured by 2 detectives in the hallway of his house.
Why go back?
Why would he come back home 3 hours later?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he be afraid of being caught?
Came home to get his knife. It's not nice to go around leaving knives sticking in people's chests.
Yeah, why would he go home?
Well, I think we can assume the boy ran out in a state of panic.
He would have had to be calm enough to see to it that there were no fingerprints left on the knife.
Yeah!
Look, you voted guilty. What side are you on?
I don't believe I have to be loyal to one side or the other.
He was calm enough to wipe the prints but not take it. Yeah.
The boy certainly must have heard the scream, so he knew that somebody saw something. I just don't think that he would have gone back.
Yeah.
In his state of panic, he may not have heard the scream. Perhaps it wasn't very loud.
Maybe all of those things happened, but maybe they didn't. I think there's enough doubt that we can wonder whether he was there at all during the time.
He wasn't!
What are you talking about? Didn't the old man see him running out of the house? He's twisting the facts, I'm telling you.
He saw someone. He saw someone.
I'm talking here.
Another vote called for. Now let's take our seats.
So it's 9-3.
So much time spent on nothing.
It only takes a second.
Not guilty. All those voting not guilty, please raise your hands.
Let's do 6-6. Let's do split.
1, 2, 3, not guilty. 9 guilty.
So now, where are we?
4-8. Go.
I vote not guilty.
Oh.
About, I mean, we're all going crazy in here or something. The kid is guilty. Why don't you listen?
Wow.
Hey, what is this? Love your underprivileged brother week or something?
It's gonna go 7-5 right now.
There is a reasonable doubt in my mind.
What reasonable doubt? That's nothing but words. Here, look at this.
That's all it takes.
Now, what about this, Mr. Reasonable Doubt?
That's not the knife, don't you remember?
Oh, brilliant.
Ha!
Are we supposed to believe that he didn't get up and run to his door and see the kid tearing down the steps?
Saw someone.
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
And he's so slow and old.
Where was the bedroom?
It was down the hall somewhere.
Mr. Foreman, I'd like to see a diagram of the apartment.
He's gonna be so far from the door and
Well,
at his
find out if
speed.
an old man who drags one
Yep.
foot when he walks because he had a stroke last year can get from his bedroom to his front door in 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
He said 20 seconds. He was an old man. Half the time he was confused. How could he be positive about anything?
How come he can be confused? See?
Here, the man said he saw the boy running out.
Well, that's...
By the time he got to the door,
He said he got to his own front door as fast as he could, and he swore it couldn't have been more than 15 seconds. Now, the killer began running immediately.
he either saw no one or he saw somebody, the tail end of somebody. Here we go.
Here are the L tracks, a bedroom, living room, kitchen, bathroom. Here's the hall. Here are the stairs.
Look at that long hallway.
It's 12 feet from the bed to the door. The hall is 43 feet.
For an old man who had a stroke, it is a long walk.
Oh.
Let's do it.
I'm going to try it, see how long it took.
What do you mean you want to try it? Why didn't his lawyer bring it up if it's so important?
Buddy, pass me that chair, will you? Those 2 chairs are the old man's bed. I just paced off 12 feet across.
Oh, that's crazy. You can't recreate a thing like that.
I would like to see it. 43
He's not
feet.
even going to be able to do it that fast.
Come on, knock it off.
"15 seconds. It's going to have taken him 20, 30.
Lock, door, stop.
Right.
What's the time?
30.
Exactly 41 seconds.
Here's what I think happened. The old man heard somebody racing down the stairs and assumed it was the boy.
Yeah.
Brother, I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my day, but this little display takes the cake.
But he couldn't have got there that fast.
Suddenly you start getting through to some of these old ladies. Well, you're not getting through to me. I've had enough. You're letting them slip through our fingers.
Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
Perhaps you'd like to pull the switch.
For this kid, you bet I would.
I feel sorry for you. What it must feel like to want to pull the switch. Been acting like a self-appointed public avenger. You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts. You're a sadist.
Kill him, I'll kill him!
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Right.
Oh, no, everything's all right. We're just, you know, friendly little argument. That's...
Wow.
What are you looking at?
That was good. I've switched back to the guy with the cigarette in his mouth. Not Fonda, but the one on the left. That's my Ed Begley now. I've gone back to it being him, and I'm sticking to it.
If nobody else has an idea, I might have a cutie here. I mean, I haven't given it much thought, but let's throw it out on the stoop and see if the cat licks it up.
The cat licks it up.
That's what we say in the ad agency.
I bet we're gonna have a storm now.
Boy, oh boy, it's really hot, huh? Don't you ever sweat?
No, I don't.
Maybe we should take another vote.
Oh, great.
Because he wants to switch. 6-6. Let's go 6-6.
Mr. Foreman?
Well, that's okay with me. Anyone doesn't want to vote?
Call out our vote, you know. Let's see who stands where.
Well, that sounds fair to me. Anyone object?
Do 6-6.
Okay, I'll call off your jury numbers. 1. Oh, that's me. I can vote guilty.
Not guilty.
Number 3?
Guilty.
Number 4?
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
2.
Number 6?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yeah! 3.
Number 7?
Guilty.
Number 8?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Okay.
Number 9?
Not guilty.
5.
Number 10?
Guilty.
Number 11?
Not guilty.
6!
Number 12?
Guilty.
So we're 6 and 6. That's what I said. Okay.
The vote is now 6-6.
Yee!
And we go into extra innings here, huh?
I'm telling you, some of you people in here must be out of your minds.
He didn't do it. Or he did.
That's exactly the point this gentleman has been making.
Oh.
I'd like to be a few years younger. Well, it's hot in here, isn't it, huh?
Want a drink of water?
Wow. It's getting real hot in there.
It's gonna rain.
Well, how'd you figure that out, killer? How come you changed your vote?
Well, it just seemed to me there was room for doubt.
You haven't got a leg to stand on, you know that, I hope.
Oh, I don't feel that way. There were a lot of details that never came out.
There's just going to be more and more facts that come up and things that they debunk. And we're going to go 8-4 the other way. We're going to go 9-3 the other way. And then we're going to end up 11-1 with that one Stallone-mouthed guy being the only guilty. And somehow we're going to turn him.
Hey, 2 points. And you guys ever go to the garden?
That's a damn stupid thing to do.
I'm a pretty excitable person. I mean, where does he come off calling me? A public avenger, sadist and everything? You're just trying to bait me.
He did an excellent job.
Listen, let's take it to the judge and let the kid take his chance with Paul.
I don't think the judge will accept a hung jury.
Well, let's find out.
Maybe you don't fully understand the term reasonable doubt.
Well, how do you like this guy?
Yeah, I don't think you do understand
I'm
it.
telling you, they're all alike. Before they can take a deep breath, they're telling us how to run the show.
He'll get him to agree that there's a chance he didn't do it. And he'll be like, that's reasonable doubt.
An important point for the prosecution was the fact that after the boy claimed he'd been at the movies.
He couldn't remember the movies.
That's correct. The boy was questioned by the detectives in the kitchen of his apartment, while the body of his father was lying on the floor in the bedroom.
Yeah, you just be like, I don't know.
Under great emotional stress.
Under great emotional stress.
He remembered them correctly in court. He named the pictures and the stars who played in them.
Ah.
He had 3 months from the night of the murder to the day of the trial in which to memorize them. I'll take the testimony of the policeman who interrogated the boy right
He
after
was
the murder.
scared and nervous.
I'd like to ask you a personal question.
Tuesday night, the night of the bridge tournament, I played bridge.
Monday night?
When you get down to New Year's Eve, 1954, let me know, huh?
Monday night, my wife and I went to the movies.
What did you see?
The Scarlet Circle.
What was the second feature?
Mrs.
Who was in The Amazing Mrs. Bainbridge?
Barbara Long, I think it was.
Who else?
I'd never heard of them before. It was a very inexpensive second feature.
And you weren't under an emotional stress, were you?
No, I wasn't.
I think the point is made.
I like that little guy, the older man. He's cute.
Boy is guilty, period.
Or he's gonna be the last one to turn. I think the Stallone mouth guy is gonna turn before the older, grumpier one.
Well, we're still tied up 6-6. Who's got a suggestion?
Vote.
Something I'd like to say. I mean, it's been bothering me a little, and as long as we're stuck, there was this whole business about the stab wound and how it was made. The downward angle of it, you know.
Oh, it's a taller person.
Now, the boy was 5 feet 7 inches tall. His father was 6'2". That's a difference of 7 inches. It's a very awkward thing to stab down into the chest of someone who's more than half a foot taller than you are.
Give me that. I'll give you a demonstration. Somebody get up. I want you to watch this because I don't want to have to do it again. Okay?
It's about right, maybe a little more.
Okay, a little more.
What's it all?
Nobody's hurt, right?
Right, nobody hurt.
Dude, he could fake it. I mean, you could show that you're going down, but it's still...
Well, this is the way I'd stab a man.
Is it awkward?
Look at the angle. Down and in.
Down and in, I guess there's no argument.
Well, hold on a minute, will you?
There we go.
Anybody here ever see a knife fight? Oh, I have. Switchblades came with the neighborhood where I live. See, you lose too much time switching hands. Here's how. Underhanded. Anyone who's ever used a switch knife wouldn't handle it any other way.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. That's why they're made to open like that.
Yeah.
You think he could have made the kind of wound that killed his father?
No. Not with the experience he'd had all his life handling these things.
Yeah.
How do you know? Were you in the room when the father was killed?
No. Neither was anybody else.
What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
How about you?
I don't know about the rest of them, but I'm getting a little tired of this.
Come on, turn.
So I guess I'll have to break it up. I changed my vote to not guilty.
You!
You what? You heard me. I had enough.
I said he would change just so he could go home.
What kind of a man are you?
I said that.
You have sat here and voted guilty with everyone else because there are some baseball tickets burning a hole in your pocket, and now you have changed your vote because you say you're sick of all the talking here?
Take the vote, though. Take the not guilty.
Don't you have the guts to do what you think is right?
Now listen.
Guilty or not guilty?
Take the not guilty.
Not guilty.
Why?
Look, I don't have
I
to...
don't think he did it. Say it. Say it, because I don't think he did it.
I don't think he's guilty.
Take it.
Want another vote?
Okay, this
8-4.
the quickest way is a show of hands. Anyone object?
8-4.
Okay, all those voting not guilty.
Or wait, not guilty.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nine.
Huh? 9-3.
All those voting guilty? 1, 2, 3. Well, the vote's 9-3 in favor of acquittal.
I don't understand you people.
He's gonna be last. He's gonna be the last one.
I did. You're not going to tell me you believe that phony story about losing the knife and that business about being at the movies?
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck? I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. They don't need any real big reason to kill someone either.
You can't handle the truth.
They get drunk. Oh, they're real big drinkers, all of them. You know that. And bang, someone's lying in the gutter. Nobody's blaming them for it. That's the way they are, by nature. You know what I mean? Violent. Where are you going?
Bathroom.
Look, they're lushing it up and fighting all the time. And
You're gonna be last man standing. One angry man.
most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do anything. This kid is a liar. I know it. I know all about them. They're no good. There's not a one of them who's any good. I mean, what's happening in here? I'm speaking my piece and... This kid on trial here, his type. Well, don't you know about them?
His type.
There's a...
Ooh.
These people are dangerous.
These people.
Wild. Listen. Listen.
I have. Now sit down and don't open your mouth again.
I think the Stallone mouth is going to turn next because he's up. He took a stance against this old guy.
Wherever you run into it, prejudice always obscures the truth.
Yeah, but he's going to hang on to it because his racist prejudice. Turn him!
We may be trying to let a guilty man go free. I don't know. Nobody really can. But we have a reasonable doubt. Very valuable in our system. No jury can declare a man guilty unless it's sure.
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
We 9 can't understand how you 3 are still so sure.
But I still believe the boy is guilty of murder, and I have 2 reasons. One, the evidence given by the woman across the street.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony.
Least reliable.
She saw the boy raise his arm over his head and stab down.
And he would never stab him that way.
Her bed was next to the window, and she could look out while lying down and see directly into the boy's room across the street.
While lying down, that's going to come into play.
And as she looked out, she saw the killing through the windows of a passing L train. The lights went out immediately after the killing, but she got a good look at the boy in the act of stabbing his father. As far as I can see it, this is unshakable testimony.
I can see how they're hanging on to that.
What do you think?
But it's wrong. Debunk it. Come on.
How about you?
So much evidence to sift. This is a pretty complicated business. It's not so easy to arrange all the evidence in order.
You can throw out all the other evidence. The woman saw him do it. What else do you want?
Yeah, well, maybe...
Let's vote on it.
Okay, there's another vote called for. Anyone object?
All right, I'm changing my vote.
Back to guilty?
Guilty.
Ah.
You're the leader of the cause. What about it?
Let's go over it again.
We've been over it again. The boy in the gray flannel suit here is bouncing backwards and forwards like a tennis ball.
He's an ad man, sure.
Maybe we can talk about setting some kind of time limit.
Yeah, once around for the deal, huh?
It's 6:15. Someone before mentioned 7 o'clock.
I was wondering why you rub your nose like that.
Oh, come on, will you?
At this point, I happen to be talking to the gentleman sitting next to you.
He's getting spicy.
Your eyeglasses made those 2 deep impressions in the sides of your nose. I hadn't noticed that before. That must be annoying. I've never worn eyeglasses. 2020.
Hey, good for you. Let's hear it.
The woman who testified that she saw the killing
Terrible vision.
had those same marks on the sides of her nose.
Holy smokes, you know he's
right.
right.
I didn't think of it then, but I've been going over her face in my mind. She had those same marks.
And she wasn't wearing glasses when she was in bed.
She's making a tremendous effort to look 35. Brand new clothes that should have been worn by a younger woman.
How do you know whether she wore glasses? Just because she was rubbing her nose?
Now, she had those marks. I saw them.
Well, so what? What do you think that means?
Listen, I'm getting so sick of your yelling in here.
Come on.
Come on.
Right, I saw them too. I was the closest one to her. She had these things in the side of her nose. What do you call it?
Dents. Indents.
Well, what point are you making here?
That she wasn't wearing them last when
Those
she
marks
saw the
be made by
killing.
anything
Other than glasses?
Other than eyeglasses?
No.
Well, what about the lawyer? Why didn't he say something?
There are 12 people in here. 11 of us didn't think of it either.
Okay, she had marks on her nose. She didn't want to wear them out of the house so people would think she's gorgeous. But when she saw this kid killing his father, she was in the house alone.
So was she wearing them or not? But she was
Do
asleep.
you wear glasses when you go to bed?
No, I don't. No one wears eyeglasses to bed.
It's logical to assume that she wasn't wearing them when she was in bed.
How do you know?
Because
She looked out, the lights went off a split second later, she couldn't have had time to put them on there.
Wait a second.
Here's another guess.
Glasses she wore. Maybe there was sunglasses. Maybe she was farsighted.
I only know the woman's eyesight is in question now.
Right.
Don't you think the woman might have made a mistake?
No.
It's not possible.
No, it's not possible.
It is possible.
Is it possible?
Yes. Imagine if they all
You think he's
turned
guilty?
not guilty. Ah! Oh, he turned. It's gonna be Stallone mouth. It's gonna be the last one.
No. I'm convinced. Not guilty.
What's the matter with you?
I have a reasonable doubt now.
11-1.
And he's the one. Thought it was gonna be the older guy, but they called him out on being a racist. What if the kid did it? What if we go through all of this, we get not guilty, and he did it? That would be a good twist.
I don't care whether I'm alone or not. It's my right.
Let's get not guilty, and then let him have done it. Although I don't know if back then in the 50s, like, the ending is more like
What do you want? I say he's guilty.
happy American, like, not guilty and save him, or if they're gonna do a dark button of he did it.
I gave you my arguments.
We're not convinced. We have as much time as it takes.
He did 11. He's turned.
Why don't you take that stuff about the old man? The old man who lived there and heard everything. The old man saw him right there on the stairs.
No way. He can barely walk.
You can't prove he didn't get to the door. Sure, you can take all the time, hobble around the room, but you can't prove it.
But you can't prove he did.
I'm telling you, everything that's gone on has been twisted and turned.
He believes himself. He's not trying to just be prejudiced.
Come on, this woman testified in open court. And what about hearing the kid yell? Huh?
But you're wrong.
Yeah, I've got all the facts here. Well, that's it. That's the whole case.
It's personal for him. It's about his son.
Well?
He wants to punish that kid instead of punishing his own.
You lousy bunch of bleeding hearts. Me, I'm entitled to my opinion. Rotten kids, you work your life out.
He's just taking it out on this other kid instead of dealing with his broken relationship with his kid. Come on!
No.
Turn. I know he's gonna turn. I know we're gonna get knocked in. Yeah!
Not guilty.
Heavy. I think that we just leave it. I think we never find out if the kid did it or not. I think it's just about that process. And I think that that's it. I think the movie will end without a definitive truth from the defendant or anything. And that's the point. It's about reasonable doubt. Whew! Get him his jacket. Call your son. Good job. Especially if you killed him. And they all just walk away, never to, like, interact with each other's lives again.
What's your name?
Davis.
My name's McCardle. Well, so long.
That's it. But he saved a kid's life. Yeah, in my heart, he didn't do it. The kid didn't do it. And Davis saved his life. They were going to give him the chair. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, we knew that was Henry Fonda. Joseph Sweeney's my other favorite. That's Ed Begley? Oh! I just kept looking for someone that looked more like Ed Begley Jr. Then that's Ed Begley. Then I know him. Then he's like, gosh, is he even, what's his name? the Hershey guy, you know, the in A League of Their Own. Is that Ed Begley? What's his name? They don't call it Hershey. They changed the name. It's the I forget. But maybe that's him. I'm gonna look it up. That was fantastic. That was so sort of incredible. I mean, I think it was definitely a play because of the way that it was written, and it would be an incredible thing to see live, because it's just in that room. It's all about their interaction, and everybody has their own little human, you know, condition that had them having their predisposed, you know, idea about the case, and whether it was their racist prejudice or their own personal experience with their son, or whether they're, you know, whatever it is. It was just it was a really, really cool character study with the highest of stakes. So that was awesome. I'm so glad I watched that. Thank you guys for watching with me here on Criminal Content. I hope you enjoyed it too. And my name is Coby. I'll see you next time.